Where it's 8:30, a lot of you are about ready to get on the phone and start dialing to set appointments or start dialing to call and close business over the phone. I want to do a fundamentals review on how to conduct good openings. Now, as I've trained agents and reviewed their techniques and reviewed sales calls over the last several years now, both face-to-face and over the phone, it's become imperative to me that how you sound over the phone is critical in the first couple of minutes, even less than that. I've actually got a video coming out next couple of days, how to nail the first 30 seconds of your insurance call. And again, it's relevant face-to-face or over the phone. So it's really important to make sure if there's any part of your presentation, especially if you're in telesales or certainly just setting an appointment over the phone, to dial in and nail that first 30 seconds so that you can gain the attention of your prospect, so that you can separate yourself out from the millions and multitudes of telemarketing calls that are coming in and begin the process of what I think is the positive beginning of a high likelihood that you're going to close the deal or set the appointment. However, I think one thing that we need to emphasize and pay more attention to is how we say what we say. Because why is this the case? Again, just to paint the picture of the reality your client lives in right now, as you call your clients today, there are leads you have in front of you that are going to buy. They may buy the first person who calls. They may never buy. Then there's this group of leads that may buy depending on a set of circumstances. One of which is how you sound and the general kind of like gut feel they get from you. But when they're sitting in their house and you're calling on them, there are all sorts of things that are happening around them that you are blissfully unaware of, ignorant of. They're got the TV going. They're watching the football game. They're watching the talk shows. They're on the toilet. They're playing Candy Crush. They're distracted by social media or what's out the front door. Or maybe they just got off the phone with a kid and they're angry and they're in a bad state of affairs mentally. These are things that are going on right now that frankly, you just don't have the awareness of. And their mind is distracted by these other things. You can always guarantee, and this is important to remember, that the state that you call your prospect in, or the prospect that your state is in when you call, is not dialed in to your pitch, okay? So you have to start the call with maximal enthusiasm, energy, and sound as like you're a professional. If you sound flatlined, boring, just like ho-hum, guess what's going to happen? Guess what they're going to do that they've done to the last 12 telemarketers that called them? They're going to hang up on you. They're going to look for that opportunity because they're not intrigued by you. You're stumbling over yourself. You sound like an unprofessional person. They're looking for the opportunity to hang up. This is the reality that every single one of you have to accept if you want to have any success in this business. So now that we know what reality is, now we have a plan to deal with it. Record yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, every single performance-based team, athlete, whatever, always reviews their tapes. Football players, football teams review their tapes. It's endless. They're looking for ways to improve their technique and then also to recap on what they did right and what they improved. If multi-billion-dollar franchises out there are doing something as simple and as literally cost-free as recording themselves and analyzing, why shouldn't you? This is a performance-based industry. This is a skill-based discipline. Why can't you do the same either? If all you do is review the tape yourself, you're going to find immense mistakes. You're going to find immense opportunities to improve upon those mistakes that in the moment, as you're on the phone, setting the appointments, getting into the presentation, you were unaware of. It is remarkable how many times that I have reviewed tapes. And I know because I've reviewed dozens upon dozens, if not hundreds at this point over the years of different agents, presentations, appointment setting, door knocking, that when they listen to it, when the agent listens to that tape, they've read all the same scripting. They rehearsed, just like you said, they smiled, they were consistent, but they didn't listen because they couldn't listen in the moment of what they were actually saying or doing. And the biggest aha moments in this business comes when you sit down, you listen to yourself, and you do the old face palm, like I didn't do whatever part of the script. I forgot the close, or you know, I stumbled over myself, you know, or whatever the case is. And it was because of that self-examination based off of the recording, reviewing the recording, that made the difference. So I want to challenge you all out there. If you're serious about leveling up your game this year, then record yourself right away. If you're brand new and you're listening to this, you haven't even bought leads, record your presentation, okay? So you can listen to it. If you've been with me for a while and you're just getting out in the field, or you've been with me for a while, record yourself. Record your next attempt to get somebody on the phone and see and hear how you sound. If you're one of those agents that are in my groups that knows what they're doing, they're pretty good with the script, you still need to record yourself every once in a while. Do a check-in, okay? A good vehicle that's in good shape still needs its oil change every once in a while, right? We're all subject to getting out of the rhythm. And again, because this is such a lone wolf profession, right? I'm not going to be in your ear as you pitch these prospects of yours. So it's up to you to follow through in this and apply some self-analysis and some discipline too, frankly, to hit the record button every once in a while and make sure that you're still following on suit and on track. And again, I can tell you this, guys, there is always opportunity to improve. Okay. There's never a point in our lives where we'll reach perfection, right? We'll get pretty good at this stuff, but I've listened to calls of mine and I've reviewed for you guys, you know, well, man, I didn't do this. You know, I've done at that point thousands of presentations and I'm still not doing one of the fundamentals or the basics. And it was only because I recorded it that it dawned on me, oh, maybe I shouldn't do it that way, right? So, okay. So again, recording, we want to record what we're doing on the phone. Same thing in the presentation too. That's this, anytime you're in the performance act of selling insurance, consider recording yourself for self-examination or my own. So that's a big thing. Now, as far as tonality goes, let's talk about the setup, a couple of setups here to getting the energy level on point. Again, recording yourself is important. And again, if when you record yourself, the first thing I want you to think of when you're conducting the opening to these calls is to make sure you sound like somebody intriguing and interesting. Okay. This is critical. The phone requires you to not be boring. Okay. And if you think you might be a little boring, you probably are. I'm just going to be blunt with you. And if you're not sure still, record yourself, send it to me. I'll be as nice as I can to tell you whether you are or you aren't. Because if you're boring and you're flatlined, your clients won't listen to you. Again, there's Dan Kennedy, an old marketing guru I grew up with reading. You know, he said the worst thing in marketing is being boring. If you're boring, nobody's going to pay attention to you, right? There's no even good or bad feeling. They're just so ho-hum, who cares? So make sure you got your energy level high and you're interesting. Now, how can you encourage yourself to be interesting besides recording yourself? A couple of things I think can help. Consider presenting standing up. When you're on the phone, starting the call, stand up. The seated position is kind of prostrated. You're on your butt. It is a position where not a lot of energy is manifested. There's not a lot of potential energy there. But if you stand up and you're on your feet, there's more of a potential, I think, for energy to flow. So consider standing up when you start your presentations. At least walk around, work with your hands, talk Italian, get some flow of energy through you. Also, I think kind of as another testing analysis, have a mirror in front of you when you're on the phone and when you're talking. This is one of those ways in a live environment. You know, we use the recordings after the fact, but in a live, immediate feedback environment, how you look very much signifies how you sound. If I sound like this and I'm talking to a prospect over the phone, what do you notice about me? My eyes are kind of dull. I'm not smiling. And my voice kind of follows your body language. And that's kind of a critical element of personal presentation, how you present yourself from a body language standpoint. So a mirror helps you get live feedback. It allows you to see, or do you sound like you're actually engaged and intriguing and somebody who's enthusiastic, that's on point. So you can look at yourself as you talk. And then if you look like this, and blah, 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 you know, oh, okay, better sit up straight, stand up straight, open my eyes wide, smile when I'm talking, and have a little bit more depth and volume to speaking. And I assure you, that little adjustment there, and those again, of course, are what we want to manifest as we give the presentation or the script every time as much as possible. If you can keep that on point, you're separating yourself from 95% of the telemarketers that are out there, because most don't even get this part right. They're too bowled over, trying to worry about saying the script perfectly and not thinking about how they sound, or certainly trying to implement these kind of feedback mechanisms live and then the recording for later to improve upon this opening and this practice.